Hello and good morning. My name is Michael, and I'm here today to explain to you everything you needed to know about intellectual property. Now, I've been doing this a long time, so I'm fully familiar with what intellectual property or IP is, but I'm asked on a daily basis various questions, various legal problems that people have found in their business and personal lives. And I thought it'd be a lot easier just to break down exactly what some of the issues are. So here goes. So, intellectual property consists of various rights that you are given and that arise naturally from operating a business. I have broken these rights down into two categories. First category I'm going to call registered rights, and the second category unregistered rights. Now, the first category, registered rights, indicates that there is some form of process that you need to undertake to obtain this registered right. And that is indeed the case. So, what are these registered rights? And keeping it simply, I'm just going to focus on three: patents, depending on what side of the pond you're on, registered designs, and trademarks. They're the three core registered rights. And those registered rights, you have to engage with the government body that controls and regulates the intellectual property. You file, you process, the rights are generally examined, some more carefully than others. And at the end of that process, you obtain a certificate and you are deemed to be the only person entitled to use the patent, which is an invention, use the registered design, which is how a product looks, and to carry the trademark, which is the brand that identifies the goods and the services that you offer. So that's the registered. And in other messages, I will break down what those specific areas are. And on the Tear It Down podcast, you can see and follow some of these issues that we clearly break down. On the other side of the page of this imaginary breakdown of intellectual property, we have unregistered rights, which to me, in some respects, is often more important than the registered rights. The unregistered rights really starts from the first day you decide to generate a business. You're sitting at home, you're thinking of going into business, you need an identity, you need a vehicle to drive this business. I often give the analogy of a shoebox. Imagine this imaginary shoebox. Take off the lid, and as you're putting in to the imaginary shoebox, you'll be putting in the company name. Presumably, let's say that you're going to start a company. So that's an unregistered. Slightly confusing that you have to register a company, but it's not the same as the earlier discussion of the three registered rights: the patents, the registered designs, and the trademarks. You need to file the paperwork to enable you to obtain this company. But it's unregistered. You don't have a monopoly in the existence of that company name per se. There are issues if someone comes along and copies the identical name, but that's separate to this discussion. So you form the company, you buy the domain name, two crucial aspects now of any business. The domain name is unregistered. You don't have to go through a process of registering the domain name in the sense that, again, vis-a-vis the company name, you don't have a monopoly in that domain name. You have an interest in that domain name. So it's an unregistered, non government requirement to any business. So now you've got the company, you've got the domain name, you've got your website, you've taken lots of images, or you've asked the web designer to build the website for you, all your customers, your data, all this is you're unregistered. And it's all very important, and that can put in this imaginary shoebox. In addition to that, when you come up with a company name and you've registered your domain name, you would have taken the process and spoken to a lawyer about getting your trademark and that, or your patent, because you want to start getting that underway before you launch the business. So those two aspects constitutes what your business is. You registered IP and your unregistered IP, and combined together, that constitutes your business. And that's what you'll be selling in 20 years' time when you come to sell for £1 billion. So that's it, really. Think about any business as two aspects: registered, unregistered. Now, for the registered side, if you need any guidance on patents or registered designs or trademarks, come back to me via the websites, Trademark Room and Lawdit. And for the unregistered and just general guidance, let me know. All right. Lovely to talk to you. And thanks ever so much. And keep in touch. Goodbye.